Let's find Anna Ascona, our social media GD.
Is she going to get shot too?
I don't know. Anna.
Hey,
Hello.
guys.
Hello.
Are you shooting Anna?
Yes. Happy 100th
Thank
episode
you.
on your new set.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward
Hold
to
on.
being a part of the next.
Yes. My God. They keep shooting us. Stop. Stop, please.
Shoot.
No. Oh my God. All right, so meanwhile, we have uploaded the video that you wanted us to show. And Anna's from Miami. She is a DJ and a correspondent on La Musica. She joins us every
Not a
month.
DJ.
Not a DJ, excuse me. What are you?
Not a DJ.
I thought you are. You don't.
I'm a producer.
You are a journalist.
Producer,
My
digital
apologies.
content.
My apologies.
Yes, and I produced it.
My apologies.
No problem. No worries.
My apologies. And she joins us
Keep it
every
up, man.
Monday and
Keep
Tuesday.
it up, man. You're gonna get it.
She joins us every Monday and Tuesday. And let's see your most recent video. This is the one of your more favorite ones, right?
Yes, it's the last one that we
Last
just
one you
posted.
did. Let's see.
Yeah.
¿Qué lo que mi gente? Welcome to Ana Reclama. Let me ask ya, ¿ustedes se consideran Afro-Latinos? I bet most of you guys don't. But the reality is, you would be surprised at how many of you do carry the African blood in you. Yo personalmente sí me considero Afro-Latina y es algo que siempre tengo que defender porque muchos me miran y me dicen, ¿pero tú no eres negra? Yeah, I am. It's not about the color of my skin or what I look like, because la realidad es que en África hay africanos que son de diferentes colores y tamaños. Like, hello, in South Africa, they're white Africans, and that doesn't make them less African. Y también, I'm Dominican, ¿y de dónde tú crees que vienen los dominicanos? Mainly Europe and Africa. Lo que todavía no puedo entender es que muchos dominicanos y latinos en general no se consideran afro-latinos. Es como que piensan que es algo malo o una ofensa, porque cuando yo digo que yo soy afro-latina, muchos dominicanos me dicen, los dominicanos no son africanos. O cuando le preguntas a un latino mulato que si es negro, siempre dicen, no, yo no soy negro. Why do you even sound like you're offended by the question? What's the big deal? And why does it even matter if you are? Anyway, it's time to educate yourself. Primero que todo, vamos a hablar de la música latina. ¿De dónde tú crees que viene el merengue, los tambores, el palo y la bachata? From African musical elements. El reggaetón viene de influencias del hip hop. ¿Y de dónde viene el hip hop? De influencias afroamericanas. ¿De dónde viene la salsa? From Latin jazz. ¿Y de dónde viene el jazz? Its roots come from both African and European sounds. Y también la cumbia, los tambores de la cumbia, African influences. I think you guys get the point. Pero sin ofender a nadie, creo que toda esta ignorancia viene de la falta de educación acerca de este tema. Y hablando de ignorancia, recently I saw a clip from Love and Hip Hop Miami, donde Amara la Negra es cuestionada acerca de su color de piel y su físico. Young Hollywood from Love and Hip Hop straight up told Amara la Negra that her fro makes her less elegant.
So I can't be elegant if I have a fro?
Yeah, I guess so.
All I gotta say is, that sounds ridiculous. My curly hair or my straight hair doesn't make me less attractive or more attractive. Y al que no le agrade la apariencia del curly hair, que no mire pa' mi lado. But that's besides the point. Clearly, Young Hollywood had no idea what Afro-Latina meant.
Being an Afro-Latina, I think I embrace it as much as possible.
Afro-Latina, elaborate. Are you African? Or is that just because you have an afro?
Yeah, dude. African-American means from Africa and America. Afro-Latino means from Africa and Latin America. I just need you guys to really understand that Latinos are black, white, Indian, tall, short, etc. Así que no hay un solo look que identifica a los latinos. So I hope you really give it thought next time you answer about being Afro-Latino, or next time you question a Latino who considers him or herself black. Anyway, cuéntame usando el hashtag Ana Reclama, ¿por qué piensas que a los latinos le cuesta mucho trabajo aceptar sus raíces africanas? Peace.
That was. I love that. Yes, being an African American means you are from Africa, you're American, and being an African Latina means you are from Latin America and originally from Africa. Makes
Yes.
I can't believe that. Like, Squeeze is like, she makes sense, right?
Of course she makes a lot of sense.
Yes. We don't even speak Spanish and we got it.
No, I mean, it's a constant struggle that, especially like, you know, being from Dominican Republic, a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, but where do Dominicans come from? And having to explain to them that, you know, our roots come from Africa and from Europe.
Right.
But a lot of Latinos refuse to accept that our roots mainly come from Africa. So that was kind of like why I did this rant.
And also there was indigenous people there when the Europeans came and before the slavery, and then also I know in some countries people from India came and people from China came as well, and it's a whole correct.
Know your history, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
True?
You know your history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
And most of our, I explained about all of our genres, like merengue, bachata, salsa.
Right.
They all come from
And the
African
musical
sounds.
instruments, right? The whole nine.
Yeah,
yards, right?
everything.
Pretty cool.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
The banjo. The,
Yes.
all of that.
Anarchy? Where does anarchy come from?
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's an original.
So a lot of the
African
people are, a lot of the people are saying that to remember that they don't speak Spanish. Well, I just want to let you guys know I'm a bilingual journalist, so a lot of my content is in Spanglish, which means a mixture of Spanish and English. Okay. In case you guys are wondering where the Spanish comes from.
And in case everybody's wondering, it's one of the reasons why you're also here, because we would love the Latin community to also tune in more.
Yes,
to this,
yes.
Just to bring it across.
We're
Yes.
looking forward to bringing in more Latinos.
We are in no way, shape, or form biased or prejudiced or one-sided. We are the Brad and Squeeze Show.
Yes.
All right?
All right, let's go for it.
You got one color on that side, one color on this side, one color on that side.
By the way,
got
do you
colors
know-
all around.
do you
It's the
know-
United Nations.
I don't know if do you know, I think I told you, I put it up on my social media. I went to this, you spit in this little thing, and you send off your saliva, and it tells you where you're from, your ancestry is from. So I did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the DNA. Yeah.
I did my DNA, and it turns out I'm 98% Ashkenazi Jewish, 2% Asian. And my Asian DNA comes from 6 generations ago, but nobody seems to know in my family who is Asian. But we have 2% Asian, and I'm 98% Ashkenazi Jewish. And they also said, and I don't understand why this is something that I would be proud about, that I am more Neanderthal than 95% of the people in the world. I don't know what that means. Like I'm a caveman. Like my
Seriously, Brad, you needed them to tell you that?
yeah, like I don't know, I guess, the hairy chest, right? The unibrow going across, I guess, I don't know. I'm very cavemanish. My DNA comes back from. So
Interesting.
I want to take that. I want to do that test. I want to know all of
yeah, it's
my history.
It's really cool. It's really cool. And what's very funny is I did it with a friend of mine, and apparently mine was very easy. I got mine back in a week.
Okay.
All right, it was like
that's
it was like
not-
it was like very simple. You're Jewish. What are you, stupid? And my friend did it, and they're still waiting. And we sent it in at the same exact time, and they're still waiting. So I'm like, you must be one big butt. They can't figure out who you are. So.
All right.
All right, let's go. Let's go to our questions.
We have a lot of questions.
Okay.
So
All right,
let's start with Jay Carter. He has a couple questions. Good morning. My wife is going for her citizenship soon. She moved to South Carolina. The thing is, she changed her address, but she didn't change it on her green card. Is it a must to have the change on her green card?
No, but you should do it. You do an AR-11. That's what you do. It's a simple thing to do.
He also wants to know how long should he expect to wait to receive a response after sending his I-130.
About 6 to 8 months.
And speaking of DACA, he wants to know the definition of DACA.
Deferred action for childhood arrivals.
Janet Linton asks, I filed for my kids the I-130 and changed my address, which is in a different lockbox. Will they change my filing to that lockbox when I notify them the change of address?
The lockbox, meaning like the service center where you're living, it's very possible they'll transfer the case to the service center or the local office where you're living. Yes.
Rondre Pantry.
Excuse me
How
1
soon
second.
after-
They're getting ready for guns again.
Don't do it.
No
Don't do it.
guns.
Don't do it.
Put the guns away. No more guns. All right, I'm sorry. Continue. I just had to make sure they knew not to shoot it. They were just going to shoot us randomly.
They're trying to knock you guys down.
Yep.
Rondre Pantry. How soon after I change my address should I notify USCIS, and what form should I use?
AR-11. Every time you move, it's an AR-11. It's such a simple thing to do.
Every time I hear an AR, that's like you got AR-15. That's like the name of a
Isn't
gun.
that a gun or something?
Yeah, it's a gun.
Yeah.
The
Assault
replica.
rifle.
Yeah.
stands for. But it's also, I don't know why they call it AR-11. I have no idea what the AR stands for.
It's AR-15.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Sprout Francis, I am F2A and just wanted to know, after sending DS-260, what's the next step?
Yeah, your case should be transferred down to the local office for a visa appointment at the U.S. Embassy, wherever your spouse is.
Aretha Marcelo, how do I file to bring my stepdaughters to the U.S. to visit?
To visit, they go in to get a visitor's visa. If you want to file for them for a green card, you file I-130s.
U.S. Ford Series, how do I file for my citizenship? I am a green card holder.
N-400.
Sophia Gray, when you get married, what do you have to do first to file? I assume for her green card.
If you're in the United States, an adjustment application, which is I-45, I-130, I-864, I-765, I-131. $1,760 to the Department of Homeland Security.
Shango, how do you file I-485 if you're in removal proceedings?
You don't. You need permission from the judge.
Alana Maria, if someone who has been detained by immigration for overstaying a B-1 visa is out on bond, files for divorce for their spouse in Jamaica, how would that work? Do you have to be a resident of New York or a certain amount of time for a certain amount of time?
No, you just have to be physically living in in New York State for 2 years to do a divorce in New York. Doesn't matter what your status is.
Sebastian Ayamir, I got my green card through marriage, but I am divorced now after 18 years of marriage. My green card is 5 years old. I got married almost 2 years ago and filed a 130 for my current spouse 9 months before my 5-year anniversary. The application was accepted but approved yet. Am I going to have issues with my citizenship application?
Not only are you going to have issues with your citizenship application, but you're going to have issues with the I-130 because it's not going to get approved. You can't file an I-130 for a spouse, for a second spouse, if you got a green card through the first spouse for the first 5 years of you having a green card. And the question's going to come at your citizenship. Was the first marriage BS for you to get a green card? How did you get married so quickly thereafter? Not to say it doesn't happen, just saying those are going to be, you got to be prepared for it.
Okay, we have a question in Spanish, so I'm going to translate it.
Sure.
Martha she says she has no interest in coming to the United States, but her husband wants to speak to someone, and she would like a number where he can call. He was in the military.
Okay, so we habla español en la oficina de Spar and Bernstein. Okay.
El número, the number.
1-800-529-5465, if you can tell her in Spanish.
1-800-529-5465 es el número para que puedas llamar para una consulta.
Gracias.
Okay, Shine Williams.
Thank you, that's about it. We have other lawyers who speak Spanish, it's not me.
Okay, y también tienen abogados que hablan español con quien puedes hacer la consulta. All right, I just explained that you guys have attorneys that speak Spanish. Okay, so Shine Williams, should a conditional green card holder file joint taxes with spouse even if they don't live together for the last 2 years?
Should if they're not living together and it's a conditional resident, then you should be getting divorced because you need to prove it was a real marriage at some point in time. You don't want to lie and make stuff up when it's not true. So in that situation, you should come speak to us and see what's going on.
Diane Hudson. Hey, I'm married to a U.S. citizen and will be adjusting my status. I have 2 daughters, one is 17, the other is 19. When I filed for my 19-year-old, she was 18 before I got married. But now when I filed for her to get her green card, I'm worried that if she turns 21, if it's going to affect.
No, because as long as your spouse is filing for her, her age is cut off under the Child Status Protection Act on the day the child is filed. So if your spouse files for her tomorrow, no matter how long it takes, she's under 21. Just the I-130 has to be filed before she's 21 if you're being filed for by the stepfather who's the U.S. citizen.
Okay, and LaCoy Lindsay, if I put an I-130 petition for my wife and it's processed, could I file for the I-485 form before the I-130 is approved?
Yes, if you're a citizen.
Christopher Isaacs wants to know, what's the approximate total cost for filing for your 19-year-old unmarried child? I'm a U.S. resident.
If the child's in another country, $535 for the I-130. If the child's here in the United States, you're going to do an adjustment, $1,760.
Jojo, good afternoon. I'm asking for a friend. She has been out in the country for 7 years and also has 3 kids. She got married to an American citizen last year and filed her own documents and submitted them last year. She just did the biometric in December. I was wondering, does she need help from a lawyer for future immigration paperwork?
Yes. You're asking a lawyer if you need a lawyer, and the answer that a lawyer will
Wonder
always
what a lawyer's gonna say.
is yes, you need a lawyer.
You're not going to say no.
I'm not going to say no. All right. So, how many? We have a lot more?
We have a couple more,
All
yes.
right, let's go quickly.
LaCoy Lindsay, if I file I-130 for my wife and it's in process, do I have to wait for the I-130 to be approved before I file for the I-485?
No, do it together.
Yannick Miller, I just want to know how much would everything cost overall after getting married to a U.S. citizen and then doing the change of status, the lawyer, paperwork.
I don't have a legal fee for you, but the filing fee is $1,760.
Joe Tex Knox, my mom is a citizen of the U.S., but she's retired. She filed for me, but the processor said there is no space for me until 2021. I told her to forget that. At my age, she's not using a lawyer. Is this a waste of time?
I think she should come speak to me. You never know. Just because you're going through one process and a lawyer's saying this is it, doesn't mean there's not another process you can go through. Or it doesn't mean necessarily that the process that the lawyer's taking you through is the fastest way. So you should always go get a second opinion. Preferably with me, because I know what I'm talking about.
The last question. Lovable Headlamb. You are an adult in the States on a visitor's visa and completed an I-130 along with an adjustment document. What will happen?
Say that again?
You're on a visitor's visa and you completed an I-130 along with an adjustment document. What will happen?
An interview for your green card.
And a couple more questions just came in.
Okay.
Keith Stewart, if I'm married to a citizen, when can I apply for my 19-year-old son in Jamaica?
If the marriage happened before 18, the citizen should be doing it now. If the marriage happened after the child's 18, once you get your conditional green card.
Sure wants to know, Brad, in February of 2016, my husband, who is my kid's stepfather, filed for myself and my 2 kids. My son was 17 at the time, and my daughter was 20, and they denied my daughter. What should she do?
Come see us. Let me see what was done.
Master Don Coco, I was granted asylum, and my wife's court date was recently canceled since we provide proof she was under my claim for asylum. I'm about to file for my green card, but my tax filing status was married filing separate. Will that affect my green card issuing?
No, but you should be amending it to married filing jointly with your wife. There's no reason not to.
Charmaine Scarlett, I'm a permanent resident. I've been here for almost a year. My children are in Jamaica. My children in Jamaica were on my filing, but were dropped off when they became 21. What's the best way to go about trying to get them here the quick as possible?
Who's 21? I misunderstood the question. Somebody's 21?
Yeah, her kids are 21 right now. They became 21 and they've been dropped off, so she's trying to bring them here.
Let her come in and see us. I'm not sure who's sponsoring her. Maybe there's something under the Child Status Protection Act.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get going now because we only have about 10 minutes to go, Anna. And thank you very much for joining us on our 100th anniversary.